Buff Nation?
Let's go. Sorry to anyone who was starting to like our cold opens. Everyone in the chat, blame Alyssa.
Don't blame Alyssa today.
What do you mean?
Brother,
Who else could be to blame?
you don't want to do this.
I've been running around. Has been.
Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. It is DNVR Buffs Primetime, presented by Illegal Pete's, and it is projected starters day on the show.
Everyone's favorite day, something that everyone can agree on.
Always.
It's just kind of like a preaching to the choir type of day, you know? We
course,
just say
yeah.
things, everyone loves it, and we move on.
Never controversial, never fires up the comment section after the show.
No, we're not sleeping on anyone after this is over.
Right.
Also, we joke about the chat, but also a big day for the players. A lot of internal motivations get lit today.
We've been known to do that.
To light a fire.
Yes. It's going to be a fun one, though. Offense and defense. We'll talk a little bit of Juju and this weekend visit at the end. We're going to start with offense. I feel like this will be the least controversial.
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that.
Let me know how much time you need, Alyssa.
Well, let's just talk Juju for a second.
Let's talk
Why don't you
Juju.
tell everyone your plan for Saturday morning?
So,
Give us
yeah.
an update on how things are going.
Once again, Operation Next, Saturday morning, 8 a.m. in front of the Champion Center, University of Colorado. Come through.
How's the interest?
It's building. We've
Okay.
got about, I'd say I got 10 people yesterday for sure.
Okay, if all of those people bring at least one more person,
Oh, some of them are, yeah.
now we've got a crowd.
I got a few maybes as well, so
Let's build up to, I think the goal should be at least 50 people should be there.
I think we can get there. I mean, we've got the Folsom Frenzy podcast working it all out. Matt H is helping with it too. Laura, of course, as well. So we're working on, there's a lot of people out there. It's all hands on deck.
Now that I have friends with kids, I learned that like not everyone can just do whatever they want at any time.
Yeah.
Honestly, doesn't seem great, but I'm sure there's other pros to go along with that con.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're one of those people who can't just do whatever you want at any time, text your friends who can
Yes.
and tell them to get up there. You know, spread the word around. While you're at it, spread the word around about listening to this podcast if they don't already. But let's get over 50. We got to get over 50. Let's make that a personal responsibility of the fan base.
I think we can make that happen. Some Juju news, though. He took home the crown. The Elite 11 crown.
Was it the Elite 11 crown or just the Elite 11 Pro Day crown?
Pro Day title last night is what it was.
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But he's balling
let's
out.
go.
He's balling out.
Huge dub. Huge dub.
He's out. We didn't mention he's out there with Coach DC too.
Yes, we didn't talk about that yesterday. Coach DC on the Elite 11 counselor staff. We love to see it.
Love it, man. So he's balling out. He should be on his way tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow we have a fire show coming for you guys with Camden Dempsey.
Yes, recorded it yesterday after this show. And man, I don't know if he could have represented himself in the program any better.
Dude, he absolutely knocked it out of the park. All these players, man, we talk about it every time. The with character always shines through. He is literally the with character guy on this team. He's the guy when new players come in and they're learning about the program and Coach Prime is going through smart, tough, fast discipline with character. It's Camden that he puts in front of the team.
Absolutely. Also, a lot of people talking about my beard. It must have just crossed a new threshold that shows up better on camera. But I don't feel like this is that fast. Has it been 2 weeks?
It's
it's
week
been
and a
2
half.
weeks.
It wasn't last Wednesday.
It was on a Wednesday.
It was a week before.
One Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays, and it's Thursday. So yeah, we're at 2 weeks growth. I don't think that's that fast.
Are we ready?
Yes, we're ready. I did spell a name wrong. I will fix it. It's right in some, wrong in others. There are 22 of these, so I apologize for the misspelling of one name. Just so everyone's aware.
Just make sure that you give Alyssa shit in the comments. She's in a great place for it today.
If you're gonna tell us we're wrong, at least throw out another player
Or say why.
Yeah. Don't just call us stupid. I mean, I guess you can call us stupid.
Well,
but.
let's try to keep it. Let's try to stop it from being personal.
Okay.
Certainly not personal when we pick one player over another.
Should we just read through the entire roster so we say every player's name today so we can't get accused of sleeping on
Forgetting
anyone?
about them or sleeping. No. Let's just get into it. I think we've matured as a community since the first one.
I think so.
I might eat those words.
Let me know when you're ready. Well, quarterback, easiest position on the roster.
Did spell that one right.
She did.
It's an important one. Yeah, there you go. QB1, we always start with QB1, and it's always Shedeur.
Best quarterback in the country.
Best quarterback in the country, although one publication who won't be named did not put them in their top 5 Heisman candidates.
Interesting.
Yeah, they did have Travis, but no Shedeur.
Well, they don't know ball.
Exactly. Well, we've known that for a while.
All right. Is this 2 again, or is this 1?
Yeah, this is 2.
Okay, so this is running back and slot wide receiver. Dallin Hayden. And
There's a
LaJohntay
misspelling. Dallin Hayden, this one we went back and forth on a little bit.
Look, Micah Welsh is going to make this a battle all the way until August, 29th or whatever. Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised if Micah Welsh is the starting running back.
My whole thing on this is when in doubt, go with experience. The fact that Dallin Hayden has actual experience, 100-yard games in the Big Ten, multiple? Mm-hmm. I think he has 2.
At least 2. He balled out against Maryland and I can't remember the other one. But
I think it was a small school, but still. Mm-hmm. To me, it's just like I'm going to go with what we've definitely seen on a college football field. And go with Dallin Hayden here. Also should help the experience with pass protection and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Not to say Micah can't get there quickly, but there's a lot to it. And obviously Isaiah Augustave has a voice in this race as well. But in the end, we go Hayden. I made the call here. Sometimes, we let the other one have one. This was one of mine.
I just think that Micah's been on this trajectory, and I don't see it leveling it out anytime soon. I think he's going to keep on continuing to grow and impress and make plays.
So are you taking an official stance against me?
I will officially stand against you.
All right. Because I did that to you with Cormani, and it paid dividends for me.
Yeah, that's fine. We had LaJohntay in the slot. This guy, he came here for a reason. Shedeur wanted him for a reason. He's one of the quickest, most dynamic, just best slot receivers in the country.
Yeah, this is. I don't want to say easy because obviously Jimmy is a big time playmaker as well. But I think you said it right. Like Shedeur wanted LaJohntay here for a reason. Mm-hmm. Incredibly trustworthy hands, incredibly trustworthy route running. Honestly, in my opinion, a slightly different player than Jimmy.
Yes,
and one that's. I would use the term safety blanket more for LaJohntay, so he's getting that the nod here.
What do we got next? That's Travis. It's another easy one. Probably one of the best overall players, if not the best overall player, and one of the best wide receivers in the country.
Yeah. In the past, people have encouraged us to not put Travis on offense, to get another person into the starting lineup.
No.
But that's just not how we roll. We're going to put the best players out there.
Yep. And that's how CU rolls.
We didn't actually set the table for what this starting lineup is. I was thinking about this more like week 1.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Because remember the first time we ever did it, we were like, it's not necessarily week 1. It's like big game at the end of the year. And then I realized like the end of the year is the hardest to predict because the health is so hard to predict.
Yep. And then the other wide receiver up next. Will Shepard.
Yep.
Another vet. Kind of slides right into that Zay role, really. Just playing outside. He could play in the slot, too, if they want to move him around. But just given his size and frame, 6'3", 200 pounds, the length that he has to go up and catch balls over the top, he's going to be playing a lot on the outside.
Yeah, and this is another one where you probably could have made a case for Omarion Miller. That's your guy.
Yep.
Maybe number one on your guy draft board this year. But another one where I'm just saying, let me go experience. 4 years of experience in the SEC.
Yep.
That's going to go a long way in terms of learning the new offense, creating chemistry with Shedeur. But Omarion does have a head start on creating chemistry with Shedeur.
Yep.
The good news about all of these answers is I don't think there's any bad ones.
No, and these guys are all going to play. Jimmy's going to play.
Oh, yeah.
Omarion's going to play.
Micah's going to play. Isaiah Augustave is going to play. You go down the list.
So we got some nope. It's Jimmy's. Wide receiver is stacked. So I think we're going to see a heavy rotation there.
And let me just say, a wide receiver, a 3-man group of Travis Hunter, Will Shepherd, and LaJohntay Wester is so nasty. And it's almost like built exactly the way you would want to build a wide receiver room. You've got the very tall possession receiver. You've got this like electric deep threat of Travis.
Yep.
And then this twitchy, great route running, great hands inside slot guy. And that's just the very tip of the iceberg of this wide receiver room.
I used to listen to Move the Sticks a lot with DJ and Bucky. And they always talked about building a basketball team with your wide receiver core. You need a 5, you need a 4, all the way down to 1. You need a guy who can, work the short intermediate areas, kind of be that guy that you just obviously doesn't distribute the ball, but is the guy who receives the distributed balls over the short intermediate part of the field. That's LaJohntay. If you want to call Travis and Omarion like a 2 and a 3, I guess, and then Cordell or someone with Shepherd at 4 and a 5.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Again, if you're putting Jimmy in, you have to decide who's coming off.
Yep.
So I love Jimmy, and he's going to touch the ball a lot this year. But of those 3, I would have a hard time picking someone to take off for him.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's do tight end, then we can hit a break or whatever's next.
Yeah,
tight end's next. Sam Hart. I think that you're going to see a lot of Savell Smalls and any of the other guys. I don't think that we've really found that, kind of like last year. I don't think we found a surefire number 1 tight end yet. Maybe it's Sam Hart. It could be Sam Hart, but just from he didn't show up till after spring. We already have Savell, who's got experience at tight end, who's been working there for all the spring, and Morgan as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of rotation there.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but when I talked to someone in the program about Sam Hart, the term they used for him was mauler, which probably opens up a role for another tight end to get in here.
Yeah.
But if you could really trust him to block, that goes a long way into earning playing time as a tight end.
And just like the chat saying, you could easily just take off Sam Hart or Dallin Hayden, throw in Omarion or Jimmy Horn. Like, I'm sure you're going to see that a ton too. So
yeah, I guess we have to explain all this stuff, but like, this is just one formation.
Yes, exactly.
Because we can't go through and do every formation.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if, they start first game of the season, like 10 personnel. It's 4 wide receivers out there. That's their strongest position room.
Yeah, I mean, why not just 5 wide?
Sure. That's what they did at TCU. That's literally what they did at TCU. They just came out and said, stop this passing attack.
Yeah, absolutely. I almost think it'll be the opposite, though. I wouldn't be surprised if the first snap of the season is from under center.
Just to set the tone?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We'll get to the offensive line in 1 second. But shout out to our friends over at BetterHelp. Guys, life is hard. There's a lot of things going on in life, and sometimes you just need someone to talk to. If you have considered reaching out and starting therapy, hit up our friends at BetterHelp. It's all online. We got a deal for you over at betterhelp.com/DNVR. Let's eliminate the stigma of addressing mental health with our friends over at BetterHelp.
I think we've gone a long way already.
We have.
I'm watching The Sopranos right now, and like him going to therapy is like a huge thing that he's like trying to hide from everyone.
Yep.
Like, we've come a long way since the early 2000s.
We really have. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible, convenient, and suited to your schedule. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit betterhelp.com/DNVR today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/DNVR.
Also, shout out to Toyota. I'm going to be putting some miles on the Toyota this weekend.
Where are you going?
Well, I am invited to a celebrity golf tournament. I'm putting that in quotes because technically I'm considered a celebrity in this, which means it definitely has to be in air quotes. But some really cool people up there. I've honestly been committed to this for over a year. So super excited for that. But that's up in northern Colorado. So I'm going up there, and then on Saturday afternoon, that's a Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, I have another golf tournament. So 2 in the same day. One's a league, one is a celebrity golf tournament. But there are some actual real celebrities that are going to be there.
Have you ever played that much golf in one day?
No. I was telling one of my friends about this who loves golf as much as me, and he was saying essentially that he did not believe it because he does it all the time.
Yeah.
But I've never tried. So it might take it out of me.
Well, best of luck to you,
So
man.
I'm going to be running back and forth in my Toyota. And I love it. Trust it. I'm definitely going to use my cruise control feature.
Ooh.
Which that thing is amazing. It's not just your mother's cruise control. This thing can sense when there's cars in front of you, automatically slow down. It knows when you're going, away from the lines and steers you back. Mm-hmm. This is a high caliber cruise control. So if you want in on that, make sure you visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation, Arapahoe, and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
All right, offensive projected starters. We've got the offensive line to go through here. Probably the most important position group on this team.
Oh, yeah.
Starting at left tackle, Jordan Seaton, obviously. The 5-star, the number 1 tackle in the country. You've seen the transformation of his body over this offseason. And obviously this is, as we saw in the spring game, this is a young player, still kind of figuring it out, still learning a bit. There's going to be some speed bumps. Just be prepared. But by the season's end, I think we're going to have a very, very good player at left tackle.
Absolutely. Someone in the comments earlier, interestingly, said they're calling their shot predicting Khalil Benson at left tackle and Tyler Johnson at right tackle.
You can call that if you want.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you were willing to give that any thought. I'm pretty sure that Jordan is locked in at left tackle. Came here to play, and to me, the most impressive part of anything he's done so far, and pretty much everything he does is kind of impressive.
Yeah.
The most impressive part of anything he's done so far is the way that he has prepared his body to be ready for this, and so I think that he is basically no longer a freshman.
No.
He came in as a freshman.
Yeah.
He's already become a sophomore, at least.
Yep.
The way that he's transformed his body in such a short period of time.
That's the advantage of early enrollment. Just getting that head start. Next, going through the offensive line. Left guard. It's our boy.
Tyler Brown. We should have a sound for when this is different than the last one we had.
Just like a gong.
Something like that. Tyler Brown, man.
There you go.
The last time we did this was shortly after the transfer portal, or honestly probably mid-transfer portal season.
Yeah.
After they had added a new player at every single position on the offensive line. And
twice over.
Yeah, exactly. And we debated it internally and essentially ended up going with the player who was the highest rated transfer I think they got on the offensive line.
Tyler Johnson was up there.
Tyler Johnson. I believe that he was had a little mishap on the stairs. And then Tyler Brown just went out there in spring football and said, don't forget about me.
He was the best offensive lineman in the spring game.
He also quote tweeted us posting the projected starters and said something along the lines like bet or something like that.
Yep.
And so, if you want to give us a little bit of credit, feel free. But no, Tyler Brown, just all he does is grind. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it should be a surprise now that he has gotten so much better.
Yes.
Just even without play.
I mean, attacked the offseason, had that fire in his belly, maybe from us, but also just from the NCAA's decision last year.
Yeah.
Proved himself all throughout spring football. I mean, it was undeniable. You couldn't keep him off the field. He was easily one of the top 5 offensive linemen. Not the best offensive lineman Colorado has. And I think the fact that he even took over his left guard spot over Justin Mayers, who's played that position for a while. Same with Tyler Johnson, and it's Tyler Brown, says a lot as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that leads to another one that we did not have, I believe, the last time we did these. And this one's cool. Hank Zielinskis.
Yep.
Man, is he the only Colorado kid on the roster on scholarship? Oh, Charlie now.
Yeah.
But recruited on scholarship? Oh, Trevor.
Well,
No, wait, not a Colorado kid.
No, he's Texas. But Hank Zielinskis was a kid who was committed to this team before Coach Prime even got here.
Right, exactly.
So he is
almost could qualify for an OB stamp.
Yeah, that's fringe OB there.
Yeah, almost good. We'll have to ask the committee.
I mean, there's a few of them. Isaiah Harge was the same as well, was committed to this team. Ben Finiseth is not on scholarship. He's a Colorado kid, too. Just looking, the new kicker, Daniel Gerlach.
Sam Hart.
Sam Hart's a Colorado kid.
Okay, so there's a few. Regardless.
And then, of course, Camden.
Hank Zielinskis, we should have just trusted our eyes the last time we did this.
I know.
Because our eyes, when he was out there on the field last year, told us this kid absolutely belongs here. And, he's only gotten bigger and stronger and better. So I think there's still a bit of competition there. I wouldn't say he has this locked up, but he's definitely the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Well, I think, what we did last time, it was right after the first portal window, and so it's hard to look at the guys coming in and think they didn't come here for a reason.
Totally.
So,
but it's the old adage, as it's coach's job to recruit better players, it's your job to make the coach wrong.
It's exactly what Corey said.
Yep.
That he was told to upgrade literally every position. So
right.
When it did
but
that.
It's your job to not let him do that as a player.
Yep.
Like, you're not upgrading me. I'm gonna be better than whoever you bring in here.
Yeah, Ryan Staub was also in that class. He's a California kid, though. All right, right guard, Justin. One of the new and best leaders on this team.
Would you say arguably most locked in of any position?
He is starting 100,000,000%.
If you had to write one offensive lineman's name in Sharpie,
yes,
would it be him?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, the way that he's just bonded with Shador, he obviously really wanted to come here, knew that this is where he wanted to play for 2024, and he's one of the best guards in the country. Graded out as, I think, the top G5 guard in the country.
And I think that he'll have a leader patch on his jersey come week 1.
I agree. Maybe the guy next to him should, too, at right tackle.
Yeah.
Because
I think he'll have a D.
Okay, yeah. Khalil is a dog for sure. Khalil Benson rounds out the offensive starters at right tackle. We talked yesterday about his nastiness, how he's kind of taken a vocal approach to leadership as well. And this is a very, very versatile player, too. Plays all over the offensive line, as you mentioned with left tackle. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if, when things get into the nitty-gritty of the season and, we're a little beaten down, maybe you see Khalil move around just to give us some relief.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you bring up the last graphic there, Alyssa? Just so we can kind of look at this offense fully rounded out. Khalil is... How can I put this? He's just such an important piece to have. And sometimes there are pieces of this that is just like, I mean, I'll go back to something Bill O'Boyle said last year when they brought in, what was the kid from Kent State?
Bailey or Savion?
Bailey. Jack Bailey?
Yeah.
There's so many names that sound like that on that offensive line, I feel like. He just said, like, I don't remember if he said it exactly, but I think he said he brings an attitude that we need, a toughness.
Yeah.
The word I said is you need an asshole on the field, especially on your lines.
Absolutely, man.
You need someone who, with all due respect to all of the players who are out on that field, if what happened to Travis happened again, I guarantee you that Shador wouldn't be the first one there. I think Khalil Benson would be the first one there this year.
Yep.
If someone, hits Shador in the backfield after he gets a throw off and they're getting up and they put a fist into his ribs as they're pushing themselves up, like Khalil's not going to stand for that.
Yeah.
Like those are the types of guys that you need out there, and you need at least one on each side of the ball every time you take the field. And so, while, I think there's been some debate about his talent or his skill level. First of all, I think that'll improve under Coach Lodeholt.
Yes.
And two, it's just like some of this is made up for by just being such an important asset to have on the field. You can't just be one or the other, but I think that having that out there is just so important.
No doubt, man. It's going to give you an edge in the running game too. Just if you're able to just bully people and lay an extra second of them 7 yards down the field after Micah runs for a first down or something, like that's setting the tone.
Did you see the just while we're on this topic of the offensive line, the latest anonymous coach quote?
Jesus, no.
We're in anonymous coach season. Welcome, anonymous Big 12 coach. In fact,
oh God,
essentially said like it's going to be a circus as always, and then said like they're going to only go as far as their offensive line goes, and you can't rebuild an offensive line through the portal. Well. We're fixing to find out. We are fixing to find out. And I think that's such an old way of thinking about the transfer portal. The way that I've seen this offensive line bond and the chemistry that they've built and the talent that I believe they have, I think that you can rebuild an offensive line through the portal. And by the way, only 3 new pieces on there, just for what it's worth, that weren't on the team last year.
Yes. And a freshman, and like it's not all through the portal. They brought in depth through the portal for sure, but
were you trying to find the article?
Oh, I found it. Yes.
Okay. I'll give you that exact quote for those of you who haven't seen it. Quote: "It's going to be a circus just like last season, so expect the unexpected." I don't even know what that means. It doesn't matter what noise Prime makes. They cannot have a winning season without a functional run game and a legit offensive line. That's the one position group you can't really portal in one cycle. But then they say if they're halfway better there, they'll have a winning season. This person was really like flip-flopping on themselves.
Oh, this isn't even worth the time. That's garbage.
But anyways, I think that this is going to be a poster child group for what you now can do in the portal on the offensive line.
There was also an anonymous quote about Shador. It says the known quantity is at quarterback, and when you look at the kid away from the hype and his dad, he can make legit throws and has innate talent and great instincts. It's fair.
All right.
This is crazy. They just got like an anonymous coach to talk shit about every team in the Big 12 in this article.
I didn't.
Literally,
You're on a different thing than mine. Mine is a regurgitation of whatever article you're reading that just had the Colorado part.
Okay. It's from Brad Crawford of 247. He's got Arizona, Willie Fritz at Houston, Texas Tech, Aranda at Baylor, all this stuff.
Wait, I'm so confused. I think we're reading 2 different stories.
I'll send you the link.
But you saw the same quotes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think this one's different than the one you're reading. This doesn't have any... Oh, no, it is. It does have the Shador thing. What? It's very confusing. Anyways, let's move on.
Time to chill. Shout out to our friends over at Coors Light. We're going to be chilling tomorrow on the golf course for... What's the official name of this tournament?
Midsummer Open?
Midsummer Open.
Midsummer Classic?
The DNVR Midsummer Open. We're going to be out there hanging out, crushing a few Coors Light.
Midsummer Night's Dream?
Sure. You can come hang out with us after at the DNVR bar. We'll be drinking some Coors Light on draft.
Midsummer Open. I had it right the first time.
Midsummer Open. There you go. We got the Silver Bullets and the Stubby banquet beers as well. We got a lot of cool stuff coming down here at the DNVR bar. We're going to be competing in a Madden tournament.
Yes.
Next week, I believe.
Yes.
We got a bunch of cool stuff going on here too. We got EAFC tournaments, going to have 2K tournaments. And then I heard today that we might have something very, very cool for the release of EA CFB 25.
Oh, yeah. We're going all in on that.
So you're going to want to come down and hang out with us for that. And drink some Coors Light. Make the most out of times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Also, check out our friends over at Vestibule doing something really cool where Baron Browning is allowing you to invest in him, and in exchange, you can get 1% of his future earnings. Or at least you and the other investors can get 1% of his future earnings. Really interesting concept that they're doing at Vestibule, and something that I plan on getting in on just to be along for the ride and say I was there when this started. So right now you can only invest in Baron Browning, but they're expecting to have more athletes soon, and shares are available for purchase right now. But go download the Vestibule app to invest in this. This is going to be a really, really interesting new wave of ways to invest in sports.
Definitely.
So check it out. Also, just while we're on the topic of our partners and sponsors, I might be going home with a new Toyota tomorrow.
Wow.
Because on hole 5 at the Midsummer Open, if you get a hole in one, you could win a 2024 Toyota Tacoma. And if I do that, the beard's never coming back.
You heard it here
first. I'm just going to be a
first.
pickup driving, mustache having, country music listening man.
One golf tournament, this guy just goes full country, man. It's crazy.
I'll drive my new Tacoma right up to Fort Lupton for the other golf tournament.
Oh, man, that'd be amazing. I hope that's where we get to hang out tomorrow, is at that hole. I would love to watch people just take shots at it.
I think you can kind of like design your own day here. This is a choose your own adventure type of thing.
I haven't gotten any directions for tomorrow yet, so I have no idea what's going on.
Create your own directions.
All right.
Why don't you text Spencer and be like, I have an idea for that hole. Instead of just hanging out and sitting on your ass, create something.
All right, fair enough.
I'm just saying, last golf tournament, I'm out there competing, putting my blood, sweat, and tears out there, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what the DNVR people doing. Everyone just sitting at one hole, chatting it up.
You have to be there at 8 a.m. though, Jakey Poo.
Do I really?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Time to put some work in.
I was going to play Elden Ring all night.
Well, it's fine. You could sleep all night tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, record people trying to get their hole in one. Make some content about it.
I was just going where I was told to be last time, man. That's all. I was hanging out with Lindsay. We were driving the golf cart around for a bit. We had a good time.
I almost said something that I shouldn't have said.
Okay. Let's go to defensive starters.
Let's go.
All right, BJ Green. We're starting on the defensive lineman. I'm putting my stamp on this guy. This is going to be one of the best defenders on this team, and I will not hear any slander.
Yeah. To me, I think that BJ Green could end the season as the most valuable player on defense.
Absolutely.
I think that there's a legitimate shot. That when we look back, we say, wow, could you imagine where we would have been without BJ Green? Because he racked up 11 sacks or something like that.
Yep. What's the most sacks for a player in a season? I'm pulling it up, actually. Do you know off the top of your head, though?
Most sacks by a player in a season, I remember it's someone that I'm not that familiar with.
Dan McMillan, 1985, with 14 sacks.
There you go.
Career leader is Alfred Williams, 35.
All right. What was it, 13?
14.
14. It's a tough bar to clear, but let's see you do it, BJ.
Cannot wait. Here we go. Inside, we got the 2 defensive tackles here. Chidozie.
Okay, so Chidozie was an easy choice for us.
Yes.
The second choice here, though, is to me very situation dependent.
I went with the vet in Torian Carter.
Yep. I think when in doubt, go with the vet is just like a good general practice.
Yes.
This could be Ryan Buell. This could be
Amari McNeil.
This could be Shane Cokes.
And look, don't accuse us of sleeping, because I'm going to tell you right now, Big Anquin Barnes is going to make some noise.
And Anquin Barnes as well. So all of those guys are going to play. Defensive line, the second most rotational position to me behind wide receiver.
Yes.
Maybe even the number one.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea where to go with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It could have been anyone. There's not a lot of conviction behind it because you could go through a whole game and not know who the starter was, I think.
Yeah.
Other than just who was out there on the first snap. It's all going to depend on, is it 3rd and 8? Is it 3rd and 1?
Mm-hmm.
1st and 10? Or is it 2nd and 9?
And look, the combo, as I Don't Care says, Chidozie and TC combo are going to be tough. These are 2 vets. These guys have played a lot of football, man. I think combined they've played like 70-plus games.
Yeah.
That's what you want on the defensive line. You want experience, you want size. They bring both.
You want men.
Yes, yes.
You want grown-ass men. And that's what those 2 guys are. And when you play a team that does or doesn't have that in the middle, you can really feel the difference.
Yep.
Not to give them credit as much as I never like to, but like Nebraska has 2 grown-ass men in the middle of their defensive line, and it makes a huge difference for them every single game.
Tafik, of course, too. Who else's name do we have to say? Quincy Wiggins. Next edge, though. I went with Deion Hayes.
Another one that was debated. I let you have this one. I feel like I got the offensive tiebreakers. You got the defensive tiebreakers. I think I probably would have gone Sammy Sachs here.
Okay.
Maybe I think I'm going to officially state my case against you here.
All right, go for it.
But it is once again situational. But I think that over the course of the season, Sammy Sachs will have more snaps here. And that's not taking anything away from Deion Hayes. I'm just a big Sam Okunlola fan.
It's just the experience you get with Deion Hayes, I think.
Yeah.
I know he didn't, if you line up Samuel Okunlola's freshman year with, Deion Hayes, you're probably going to say, well, Okunlola's probably the higher ceiling player. But Deion Hayes has played more football. I think he's more reliable at that position in terms of week 1. And I'll throw out my guy, Nikhil Webb-Walker, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to make some noise as well. So,
you mentioned Arden Walker.
Arden Walker, of course.
Yep.
He's been very impressive in the one-on-one reps we've seen from him.
Yep.
He's going to be playing a lot as well.
A lot of people on my side here saying Sam not starting is crazy. But once again, everyone's getting out there.
Yep.
Or almost everyone. Heck, I even think there's some big defensive lines where you could have Chidozie, Torian, and Ryan Buell all in the same lineup out there.
For sure.
And, put Anquin Barnes out there for all I
Yeah.
He's fast.
He's very fast.
Yeah.
20 miles an hour, that big. What's next, Alyssa? Linebackers? Our guy, Nakai Hill-Green. Leader, a dog, experienced, has done it at the highest level at Michigan, was a team captain at Charlotte last year. I mean, I don't know what else you want out of a linebacker.
I don't either. And would be high on my list if of the Sharpie rankings. There's only one player I think I would rank higher. Couple, maybe 2. But anyways, very high on the Sharpie rankings. He's pretty locked in at this position. Also, I agree with what Byron said. Hayes is the most complete defensive end we have. I think I agree with that. But there's also situations that are going to call for different skill sets.
Yep.
So yeah, Nakai, lock him in and put a leader stamp on his chest.
Absolutely. Next in, we got Levante Bentley for now.
Yeah, and
you can't deny him right now. You just can't.
No, and he played as well as anyone at the end of the season on this defense. Obviously has tons of experience. To me, is trustworthy. and can, you can know where he's going to be, and you can believe that he's going to understand what's going on the defense and be where he's supposed to be. If he needs to plug, if he needs to scrape, whatever it is, you can trust him there. But I wouldn't count out Jalen Wester.
No.
And I also wouldn't count out Jeremiah Brown.
Of course not. I think we'll see some rotation here. Trevor Woods as well, too. We've seen a lot of guys play linebacker for this team. It was almost, we had the whole Juju situation last year, but they were kind of figuring it out throughout the season and just throwing guys in there to see what they had and what they could get out of them. And I think they've got a much more well-rounded and diverse linebacking core this year. So it's not just going to be two guys that play linebacker, all defensive snaps or whatever.
You know what the most interesting thing about Trevor Woods is?
What's that?
Is I personally would be more... I would be talking about him getting playing time more if he was still a safety.
I think so, too. That's just what fits his body type better. He's not built like a linebacker.
Yeah, and I think there's more question marks around the depth at safety.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting to me, but
you don't want to keep moving a player like you're in this room now instead of this. Like,
true.
Let the kid learn the game. Just pick a position for him.
And there's a lot of situations where Trevor can come in and be kind of a hybrid, almost playing linebacker as a box safety.
Right. Of course, Johnny Chaney as well. It's much better than this time last year.
All right. Next
On
one.
to the secondary we go. Starting at corner, I believe.
No. Actually, there's one player. I think this is almost no debate except for one guy that I think will absolutely have a case for getting on the field and might give someone a run as a starter.
Okay.
But we start with DJ McKinney.
We do.
Freshman standout last year. Has all the length, all the tools. Coach Prime keeps telling him he sees him being a first-round pick, but he's got to see it. But a prototype. That might be his nickname, the prototype.
I mean, players that long that play defensive back are just challenging to catch passes on. It's just that fact.
Yep.
Played a lot as a true freshman last year at Oklahoma State. Would have liked to see more ball production, and I think that's something we're going to need to see out of him pretty early here in Colorado, but obviously has all the traits and physical aspects to really be that ideal lockdown guy across from Travis and the other corner.
Absolutely.
Are we going to safety or still doing
So I'll
corners?
just get to this now because I don't think the other two are where it would be debated, but a lot of buzz right now around Colton Hood getting one of these spots.
Understandably so.
And understandably so, exactly. And once again, I'll say great problem to have.
Yeah.
I think, wait, you put Travis in the slot?
Yes.
Okay, I would put him on the outside. But
That's where he's going to play.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyways, Colton Hood definitely fighting for one of these positions.
No
on the
doubt,
outside.
man. No doubt. I think we did see, obviously with Travis went down, it changed a lot of things last year. But, we saw, besides the TCU game, because they just kind of rolled with a lineup the entire game there, we saw Amari and Cooper getting in. We saw Carter getting in. A lot of guys. So, again, maybe not as much rotation as you would see at, defensive line here, but you're going to see different cornerbacks coming in. Travis is in the slot, though.
No, he's not. I guess I should have read your text closer because I would have argued about you with this all night. Okay. I think Travis will play in the slot.
Okay.
But that won't be his primary position.
But he's going to start in the slot.
I don't think so.
That's what he did in the spring game.
I know, but last year, the spring was all about just adding to Travis's toolbox. I think that was the same thing here. Just adding to his toolbox, but when push comes to shove, he's going to be starting on the outside.
All right. I think there's something about getting your best player closer to the line of scrimmage.
I think so, too, and that's why they want that tool in his toolbox, but not on an every down basis.
He's going to play all over the field.
Either way, these two are interchangeable, I would say. with Preston and Travis. Because Preston is incredibly well seasoned in the slot.
Okay.
Are you mad at me now?
No, I'm not mad at you. It's
I just got the silent treatment.
no, apparently
here.
the chat doesn't listen to anything that happens during spring football, I guess.
Well, no, we had a whole conversation about this. We also talked with someone who knows what's up, who agreed with me.
Okay. The next corner is Preston Hodge. I think he is, after Travis, the best corner on this team. We're going to Shiloh Sanders.
All right.
I mean, that's an easy one, too. It's Shiloh.
Yeah, that was number one, or actually tied for number one Sharpie with me with Travis. Although I guess Travis not as Sharpie because we can't decide on where he's playing.
It's just where he played. I don't know what you guys want from me.
Well, this is called projected starters.
Yeah.
So we're projecting that. Me and the chat are projecting that he's going to move back to the outside.
The whole offense was about finding guys to play, or the whole offseason at spring football was about finding guys to play outside corner.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that it's going to be interchangeable. It's kind of like playing like Buffalo nickel, where you're like bringing a safety up close to the line of scrimmage, and then you got to bring a different safety in to play behind them. I think you could essentially just do that with Travis at corner, where it's like there's going to be some packages where you want him lining up near the line of scrimmage. Maybe it's like 3rd and 4, and you want him to cover the flat. And then you could also bring him off a blitz if he's coming off the weak side or like whatever. I think there's going to be like essentially the same way you would design an offensive package for Travis. I think you design a defensive package where he lines up at the slot. But I don't think that's his primary position.
Coach Livingston and the Bengals, the slot player was like the most important player on their defense. They had a lot of responsibilities. They were asked to do everything. And I think that's what's going to happen here.
All right.
He is going to follow. I mean, that's another thing, too. He's just going to follow the best receiver, probably. And that's one of the reasons why they wanted to work him in the slot, too.
Very true.
So they could just line him up wherever.
Yep. That way, if you're going up against a team with a great number one and they move him into the slot, you don't feel uncomfortable having Travis shift in there with him.
Yes. Is it the next safety then? Next to, yeah, it's Cam. We just leave it at that, I guess.
We're not allowed to talk about him. Yeah. In fact, we should have just put someone else here. Like,
I know. We really should have.
We should have just put Jake Schwanitz here.
But I was really impressed with what we saw to Herman Smith in the spring as well. We got Savion Riley coming in, and I think doesn't RJ Johnson play?
Yes.
Safety as well. So
yes. Carter
Stoutmire's made the move to safety.
Carter Stoutmire looks big too.
He was big last year, man.
I know, he looks even bigger now.
Finisset's healthy again. I don't know if we'll see much rotation at this position. We did see a lot of it last year. Travis Jay's still around, of course, too. So we'll see.
All right. We should put a poll in there. Where will Travis start, outside or inside?
And then Preston Hodge. Again, the best corner besides Travis on this team is Preston Hodge.
Yeah. When we sat next to Preston Hodge at dinner that night, I was just so impressed with his mentality.
Yep.
He was just like, yeah, like I'm here to just show out and go to the league.
Just like Nakai.
Yep.
Just like Nakai.
And he's going to do that. He, to me, my favorite player in the spring game.
Yes.
Just absolutely stuck to whoever he was covering.
Yep.
And he's done it all, you know? And so, like I said, I think that the exciting part about this is if Preston has to go outside and Travis slides inside, you're comfortable. If you reverse that, you're comfortable. I don't think there's a lot of teams in the country that couldn't say that.
No. And it's one of the best parts about this team, about this defense, is how versatile they can be. And, you know, you take Coach Livingston's philosophy of just getting the best players on the field, letting them do what they do best. I don't know how this defense isn't improved over last year.
Will Travis Hunter start in the slot on defense, yes or no?
Yes.
Sure, that works.
that is our projected starters.
I didn't expect you and me to be the ones who are fighting today.
I mean, I'm just going off what I learned during spring football, but whatever.
Oh, I was literally just about to say, I wish I got a whatever out of you. Finally got it. All right, let's go over the graphics one more time. For those who are just joining us, we'll start with offense. Final iteration of the offense. Here it is. Someone just asked, do you have Jimmy starting? We don't, but that's because we're going in a 3 wide receiver look here with a tight end. I would guess you're going to see more 4. Mm-hmm. And if you put a 4th wide receiver out there, I think the first person on your list would be Jimmy. But you can also mix it up and go big.
Let's do that there with RJ. Say Travis takes a play off. Who's coming onto the field here in this situation then?
Colton Hood.
Offense.
Oh, on offense?
Yeah.
There's so many options.
It's Omari Miller, my answer.
So you would go 2 bigs and then keep LeJontay and yeah, I mean that's sort of like the Broncos going Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick with the 2 big wide receivers on the outside. Yeah. I think you could easily go Jimmy. One thing that I would have liked to see more about from Jimmy last year, or not from him, but from the coaching staff, is more Jimmy lining up on the outside and just running straight.
Right.
And let Shador, who probably throws the best deep ball in the country, just let him run under it.
Yep.
And I would love to see that.
Defense, who did you say that comes in? Colton Hood? Yeah, I think that's pretty easy.
Well, they asked, why are you leaving Jimmy out? Because LeJontay is in.
Whatever. There it is.
And there's the defense. We had one disagreement on offense. You put your stamp on Michael Welch.
Yep.
1.5 here on defense, as I put Sam Okunlola at left edge.
Yep.
And then obviously the great slot or outside debate.
Yes. Let's get to questions and let's get out of here. We got a draft pod at 2. We're doing defensive All-American teams. We did offense last week, so if you want more Travis Hunter talk, tune into that at 2.
All right. Let's hear from the chat.
To the Toyota chat, we go, Dave. What position are we less likely to see on the field regularly? Running back or tight end? They will be in 4 and 5 wide receiver sets a lot.
I don't think you're going to see that much 5. I could be wrong. To me, 5 wide receiver is the ultimate stamp on your offensive line. And your quarterback, obviously, ability to just pick a read before the play even starts and get to it. But to answer your question, we will see tight end come off the field more regularly.
I agree. I think that running back gives you a little bit more of a safety blanket out of the backfield too, as opposed to tight end, who of course could do both. But
yep.
I am CC. If it was a wide receiver set, who's getting that spot? We talked about that.
If it was a 4 wide receiver set, I think is what they meant.
Yeah. Then Jay, RK, are you also supporting in the...
Wait.
Who are you supporting in the Euro and Copa America? Also, who do you think will win each cup? Putting money on it.
Okay, well, in Copa America, I'm obviously supporting the United States.
Yes.
And I will put money on them to win just for the fun of it, even though I think it'll be very hard for them to do so. As for the Euros, I was like a little late to the party, and so I'm not quite as invested in it, literally and figuratively. But I've been to 2 countries that are participating in this tournament, England and Belgium. And I think I'll just go with England here.
All right.
There also is only one Leeds player in the tournament. He's playing for Scotland, and they don't have much of a chance.
Oh, dang.
Great golf there, though.
Have I ever played Skyrim? Of course I have. Have you ever played Skyrim?
No. I remember my roommate in college playing it, though.
I remember the day that game came out. 11/11/11.
Just reminded me of a hilarious Reddit post I was reading. I think I told you this yesterday. I'm on like a part of Twitter that just keeps serving me funny Reddit posts.
Yeah.
But it was a person, because you mentioned Skyrim, it was a person who said they went to Chipotle and then overheard the Overheard the workers or the employees at Chipotle say that they ordered an NPC ass burrito. They're like, that hurts
great.
so much.
That's great.
What do you think an NPC burrito is? I was thinking just like
NPC burrito.
White rice, chicken, cheese, sour cream.
Yeah, maybe some like lettuce in there too.
Yeah, some lettuce. Yeah.
That's great. I haven't played Skyrim in a minute though. Trevor says, from the trenches one-on-ones, do you think that our defense is going to be a problem for opponents this year, or am I just being biased? I mean, even the linebackers look good. It's so hard to say right now, man.
Yeah, defense is so complimentary. It's so much less like offense, where offense is, you can scheme players open and you can kind of just like catch the defense in the wrong place. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it can happen the other way around too, but like if the pass rush is good, everyone's going to look good. If the secondary's really, really good, it's going to help the pass rush look better. But I think it all starts with the pass rush. If that group is good, if Deion Hayes and Sammy Sachs and Arden Walker and BJ Green are getting home consistently, even if it's not sacks, just getting pressures consistently, I think this defense has a chance to be really, really good.
Oh man.
What do you
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
AW, what is the depth like at safety? Stoutmeyer and who else? We kind of went over it.
RJ Johnson,
Savion Riley.
Someone said in the comments that Coach Prime said in a well-off recently that Trevor's working at both positions.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me. He's very smart too.
Yeah.
I think he could handle it. It's one of those things where you got to be so sure that he can do both if he's going to work at both.
I hope the person who just wrote "Stop sleeping on Jimmy Horn" is just doing a bit. Because if it's a bit, it's a good bit.
Raymond says, "Who do y'all think? What do you all think of Travis rotating at safety in certain situations? I don't think he's worked there too much, and I mean, it'd be fun as hell. I think he'd be great at it, obviously, but
you know when I would play Travis at safety?
Why?
On a Hail Mary. Put him the furthest person back and just let him read wherever that ball is going and go grab it.
Yep. DK, do you think we will see any 6-0 OL sets in the running game? You can't leave Tyler Johnson off the field. Maybe we saw the Rick Ross package last year. I do think they're going to have some version of that. You just kind of always need something like that. But Pat Shurmur's experienced enough to know how to mix in a 6 offensive lineman if necessary.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I don't know if I agree with the second sentence, but I like the idea of putting a 6 offensive line set out there. It's just when you're really trying to establish the running game, trying to impose your will. Honestly, I think the best time to do it would be week 1.
Yeah.
Go out there and prove that you're bigger and stronger.
Elizabeth says, if we don't get Juju, are you satisfied with Ryan Staub as QB1 next year?
No.
Yeah. It's a 5-star compared to a 3-star. I'm sorry.
Well, and you're going to lose the number 1 overall pick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so to me, you need to upgrade, or it's going to be hard to upgrade. You need to fill that position with another player considered to have that type of talent. Whether that's through the transfer portal or through a high school recruit is to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope they do. I hope they bring in a high caliber quarterback to replace Shedeur.
Yeah, me too. Apparently I'm drunk. Last, we got a super chat from Original. Why does everyone think Travis Hunter is leaving after the season? Isn't he a junior? With the current landscape of NCAA, it would be smarter to stay his last year. It's not going to happen.
Why would it be smarter? I would love to hear that case.
He could play in the NFL today.
I completely agree. I think everyone's talking about this because he's going to be a top 5 pick.
Yes.
And you could pretty much never make a case for why a top 5 pick shouldn't go.
Exactly. That is it. We got the draft pod coming up. Defensive All-Americans. Tune in. Tune in tomorrow. Banger show with Camden Dempsey, the governor. And then the next time we'll be live will be after this Juju visit.
We gonna have new uniforms to talk about?
We may. We'll see.
We may.
Talk to you then.
Appreciate you guys.
Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.